Wise words of wisdom, inspirational quotes, IQ. The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Stephen Hawking. I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I had to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. So we need to be very careful. With artificial intelligence, we're summoning the demon. Elon Musk. A lot of movies about artificial intelligence envision that AI will be very intelligent, but missing some key emotional qualities of humans, and therefore turn out to be very dangerous. Ray Kurzweil. Maybe we want to keep AI to the level of a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old adolescent, rather than some fully maxed out artificial intelligence that becomes 10,000 times smarter than us in just a matter of years. Who knows what could happen? It could be a very dangerous scenario. Zoltan Istvan. A year spent in artificial intelligence is enough to make one believe in God. Alan Perlis. Everything that civilization has to offer is a product of human intelligence. We cannot predict what we might achieve when this intelligence is magnified by the tools that AI may provide. But the eradication of war, disease, and poverty would be high on anyone's list. Success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last. Stephen Hawking. I'm increasingly inclined to think there should be some regulatory oversight, maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish. Elon Musk. You can't just stop technological progress. Even if one country stops researching artificial intelligence, some other countries will continue to do it. The real question is what to do with the technology. You can use exactly the same technology for very different social and political purposes. So I think people shouldn't be focused on the question of how to stop technological progress, because this is impossible. Instead, the question should be what kind of usage to make of the new technology. And here, we still have quite a lot of power to influence the direction it's taking. Matt Haig. All of the action and the Wild West fun, crazy, HBO stuff is in there, and it's all amazing. But what separates the show, Westworld, is that it's an existential drama. It's an intellectual nightmare. It is all very much based in reality. A lot of the technologies that we're exploring is stuff that we're working at right now. All of this is not that far away. It's taking a look at humanity and the state that we're in now, and what would happen if we kept on going the way that we're going, and we created this artificial intelligence. Even Rachel would. Artificial intelligence is creating a mind, hopefully as pure a mind as possible, for a computer. Frederick Lenz. In the field of artificial intelligence, there is no more iconic and controversial milestone than the Turing test, when a computer convinces a sufficient number of interrogators into believing that it is not a machine but rather is a human. It is fitting that such an important landmark has been reached at the Royal Society in London, the home of British science, and the scene of many great advances in human understanding over the centuries. This milestone will go down in history as one of the most exciting. Kevin Warwick. The purest case of an intelligence explosion would be an artificial intelligence rewriting its own source code. The key idea is that if you can improve intelligence even a little, the process accelerates. It's a tipping point, like trying to balance a pen on one end. As soon as it tilts even a little, it quickly falls the rest of the way. Eliezer Yudkowsky. I am suggesting that we recognize that in network and interface research, there is something as profound and potentially wild as artificial intelligence. Vernorving. The key issue as to whether or not a non-biological entity deserves rights really comes down to whether or not it's conscious. Does it have feelings? Ray Kurzweil. One reason I'm not worried about the possibility that we will soon make machines that are smarter than us is that we haven't managed to make machines until now that are smart at all. Artificial intelligence isn't synthetic intelligence. It's pseudo-intelligence. Alvano. I absolutely don't think a sentient artificial intelligence is going to wage war against the human species. Daniel H. Wilson. We call ourselves Homo sapiens, man the wise, because our intelligence is so important to us. For thousands of years, we have tried to understand how we think. That is, how a mere handful of matter can perceive, understand, predict, and manipulate a world far larger and more complicated than itself. The field of artificial intelligence, or AI, goes further still. It attempts not just to understand, but also to build intelligent entities. Stuart J. Russell. I'm working on artificial intelligence. Actually, natural language understanding, which is to get computers to understand the meaning of documents. Ray Kurzweil. Could artificial intelligence end the electronic medical record nightmare? Kevin R. Stone.
You are watching Wise Words of Wisdom, Inspirational Quotes, IQ, the Inspirational Quotes channel everyone goes to for their daily motivation and to learn from the most successful men and women in history. If you like today's video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you never miss a new episode. Today's sponsor is Bob Proctor and the Proctor Gallagher Institute. Discover the secret to having good luck from America's greatest prosperity teacher, Bob Proctor. 6 Minutes to Success is based on Bob's more than 50 years of research into what makes or keeps people from being successful. Get instant access to the free video right now. The link is in the description. Now let's get back to more great quotes.
I have found that the reason a lot of people are interested in artificial intelligence is the same reason a lot of people are interested in artificial limbs. They are missing one. David Parnas. I envision some years from now that the majority of search queries will be answered without you actually asking. It'll just know this is something that you're going to want to see. Ray Kurzweil. We are rapidly moving into the post-industrial age, when we must redefine what is productive work, as more and more jobs are being replaced by automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence. Rayanne Eisler. Real stupidity beats artificial intelligence every time. Terry Pratchett. We now have the power of God in many ways. The atomic bomb, the ability to create life in a test tube, cloning, artificial intelligence. James Frey. Instead of trying to produce a program to simulate the adult mind, why not rather try to produce one which simulates the child's? If this were then subjected to an appropriate course of education, one would obtain the adult brain. Alan Turing. There is huge demand for artificial intelligence technologies. Yuri Milner. How hard is it to build an intelligent machine? I don't think it's so hard, but that's my opinion. And I've written 2 books on how I think one should do it. The basic idea I promote is that you mustn't look for a magic bullet. You mustn't look for one wonderful way to solve all problems. Instead, you want to look for 20 or 30 ways to solve different kinds of problems. and to build some kind of higher administrative device that figures out what kind of problem you have and what method to use. Marvin Minsky. One of our big goals in search is to make search that really understands exactly what you want, understands everything in the world. As computer scientists, we call that artificial intelligence. Larry Page. Only unsolvable problems are worthy of artificial intelligence. Saul Gorn. The sad thing about artificial intelligence is that it lacks artifice and therefore intelligence. Jean Baudrillard. Artificial intelligence would be the ultimate version of Google, the ultimate search engine that would understand everything on the web. It would understand exactly what you wanted, and it would give you the right thing. We're nowhere near doing that now. However, we can get incrementally closer to that, and that is basically what we work on. Larry Page. Google will fulfill its mission only when its search engine is AI complete. You guys know what that means. That's artificial intelligence. Larry Page. Artificial intelligence is what we don't know how to do yet. Alan Kay. The deep paradox uncovered by AI research. The only way to deal efficiently with very complex problems is to move away from pure logic. Most of the time, reaching the right decision requires little reasoning. Expert systems are, thus, not about reasoning. They are about knowing. Reasoning takes time, so we try to do it as seldom as possible. Instead, we store the results of our reasoning for later reference. Daniel Crevier. In activities other than purely logical thought, our minds function much faster than any computer yet devised. Daniel Crevier. Singularity will be an opt-in scenario for human beings, especially as we draw closer to it. The more that we have the opportunity to interface with and combine ourselves with machines and machinery and electronics, those will all be opt-in moments. Would you choose to have some sort of brain implant? Would you choose to have Google glasses installed in your eyes? It's all an approach. It's all a glide path to the moment of genuine singularity, genuine artificial intelligence. Ron Curry Jr. Artificial intelligence is growing up fast, as are robots whose facial expressions can elicit empathy and make your mirror neurons quiver. Diane Ackerman. It's going to be interesting to see how society deals with artificial intelligence, but it will definitely be cool. Colin Angle. By their very nature, heuristic shortcuts will produce biases, and that is true for both humans and artificial intelligence, but the heuristics of AI are not necessarily the human ones. Daniel Kahneman. In the future, it's very possible you could have an artificial intelligence system that can run the country better than a human being. Because human beings are naturally selfish. Human beings are naturally after their own interests. We are geared towards pursuing our own desires, but oftentimes, those desires have contrasts to the benefit of society, at large or against the benefit of the greater good. Whereas, if you have a machine, you will be able to program that machine to, hopefully, benefit the greatest good, and really go after that. Zoltan Istvan. The key to artificial intelligence has always been the representation. Jeff Hawkins. From one perspective, we're in the early stage of artificial intelligence, but exponentials start out slowly, and then they take off. Judy Woodruff. Although computer-generated artificial intelligence eludes us, artificial stupidity has been perfected. P.J. O'Rourke. The techniques of artificial intelligence are to the mind what bureaucracy is to human social interaction. Terry Winograd. Each practitioner thinks there's one magic way to get a machine to be smart, and so they're all wasting their time in a sense. On the other hand, each of them is improving some particular method. So maybe someday in the near future, or maybe it's 2 generations away, someone else will come around and say, let's put all these together, and then it will be smart. Marvin Minsky. Artificial intelligence leaves no doubt that it wants its audiences to enter a realm of pure fantasy when it identifies one of the last remaining islands of civilization as New Jersey. Godfrey Daniels. Pattern recognition and association make up the core of our thought. These activities involve millions of operations carried out in parallel, outside the field of our consciousness. If AI appeared to hit a brick wall after a few quick victories, it did so owing to its inability to emulate these processes. Daniel Crevier. By 2100, our destiny is to become like the gods we once worshipped and feared. But our tools will not be magic wands and potions, but the science of computers, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and most of all, quantum theory. Mikio Kaku. Artificial intelligence is a tool, not a threat. Rodney Brooks. By far, the greatest danger of artificial intelligence is that people conclude too early that they understand it. Eliezer Yudkowsky. Artificial intelligence is the science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by men. Marvin Minsky. Someday a computer will give a wrong answer to spare someone's feelings, and man will have invented artificial intelligence. Robert Brault. In a sense, artificial intelligence will be the ultimate tool because it will help us build all possible tools. K. Eric Drexler. The field of artificial intelligence is pushing new boundaries. Judy Woodruff. Artificial intelligence will never be a match for natural stupidity. Joseph Addison. Artificial intelligence is whatever hasn't been done yet. Larry Tesler. We are going in the direction of artificial intelligence or hybrid intelligence, where a part of our brain will get information from the cloud and the other half is from you. So all this stuff will happen in the future. Arnold Schwarzenegger. You may not realize it, but artificial intelligence is all around us. Judy Woodruff. Some people worry that artificial intelligence will make us feel inferior, but then, anybody in his right mind should have an inferiority complex every time he looks at a flower. Alan Kay. Artificial intelligence has the same relation to intelligence as artificial flowers have to flowers. David Parnas. The entire effort of artificial intelligence is essentially a fight against computers' rigidity. Douglas Hofstadter. Artificial intelligence, AI, is the science of how to get machines to do the things they do in the movies. Astro Teller. AI would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded. Stephen Hawking. I believe that at the end of the century, the use of words and general educated opinion will have altered so much that one will be able to speak of machines thinking without expecting to be contradicted. Alan Turing. Ours may become the first civilization destroyed, not by the power of our enemies, but by the ignorance of our teachers and the dangerous nonsense they are teaching our children. In an age of artificial intelligence, they are creating artificial stupidity. Thomas Sowell. In this century, not only has science changed the world faster than ever, but in new and different ways. Targeted drugs, genetic modification, artificial intelligence, perhaps even implants into our brains, may change human beings themselves. Martin Rees. We hope you have enjoyed these quotes as much as we do. We know your time is very important. Thank you for choosing to spend it with us. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Click the card to check out another great one now.